Constantino,
¿Qué huele?
pound for pound.
Little Giant Boxing.
To my understanding, he picked you.
Well, look, as of right now, that's what I'm scheduled to do. I'm scheduled to travel to
To the
London to go meet with them for training camp. I was already with them in December for 2 weeks, and then just 2 months ago I was up there again for another 2 weeks, and it seemed like he liked my work. I think for him the most important thing is a good game plan. I already talked it over with him and his team, and I think the game plan that I'm going to prepare him for is the way. I can't say the only way, but it's the way that Usyk could be beat. Because Usyk is very smart, very technical, very fast. Good head movement, but there's a game plan that I feel Anthony Joshua being so big and so tall and having so much reach advantage and height advantage that he has to use that to win the fight, and they liked it. They've brought me to London twice already. Now that the fight is finalized, now I'm flying out there to finish up training camp with them.
How excited are you?
It's
kind of a big deal.
It's
a huge deal.
it's a big challenge for me because this is my first time taking a heavyweight to fight for a world title. So it's kind of like a dream come true. I've had champions in almost every weight division, from 105 to 108 to 112 to 115, 118, 122, 126, 130, 35. I think I'm just missing like cruiserweight, which is one well, I think cruiserweight. I'm missing cruiserweight, light heavyweight, and super middleweight. Those are the three that I'm missing, plus heavyweight.
Right.
But having a heavyweight champion is the top of the line. You know what I mean? I'm excited. I always thought maybe heavyweights is not a good idea because it's different. Their way of training is a lot different than a lightweight. And we're used to doing a lot of rounds in mid, speed, running a lot more. With heavyweights, it's a different story. But the 2 weeks I've spent with him in December, and then again 2 months ago, he's a very, very challenging fighter for himself. He wants those challenges, and he trains hard. He works as hard as any lightweight. So that's the difference. That the few heavyweights that I've worked with before, they kind of because they're heavy, they're too heavy, they don't work as hard, they're a little lazy, all that has happened. So that's probably why I had the idea where maybe I would never work with any heavyweights, but this opportunity came, and I love that challenge, especially coming off a loss and getting the rematch against the guy that beat him and became the champion at that way. It's a great challenge for me. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to get Anthony to become champion again.
How was it when you first met him? How was it?
You know what? We were in Fresno for Mikey's last fight in October, and they called me. It was really kind of weird because I got a call from somebody that I had no idea who he was, and they told me, be in the lobby because we're gonna pick you up in about 40 minutes. So I go to the lobby, and a SUV, pulled up, and they came and got me to the lobby, and they sat me in the front passenger side without even telling me where I was going. And right behind me in the back seat, Eddie Hearn was there, and somebody else. I don't remember who the other person was, but Eddie Hearn was there, and Eddie started talking to him. I'm like, oh shit, Eddie's right here. So Eddie started telling me, look, this is where we're going. So we drove like 40 minutes to a casino where Anthony Joshua was at. So we met with Anthony Joshua, and and it seemed like right away, they the whole team they heard what I what I had to say. I showed them a little bit, little things that I think, him being the taller guy that he should have used and done in the fight, and it looked like they caught their attention. Even though after that they still went to Texas, to San Diego, they went to different places to try out different trainers. I'm glad they decided to choose me. And I got along very well with uh, with Angel Fernandez, who is the trainer that he has over there in England with him. He's from Spain, but we get along really good. He's a big fan of my dad. He Angel Fernandez actually tells me, bring your dad, because I want to learn from your dad. Because my dad has some books, that Cholain Rivero. My dad admires Cholain Rivero. He helped Oscar De La Hoya in a few fights as a trainer, and my dad spent months with Cholain Rivero. So my dad has a few books that Cholain Rivero gave him, and Angel Fernandez. I don't know how he knows that my dad has those books.
He must be a historian.
Yeah, maybe he searched or something, and he knows Cholan Rivero is also one of the best trainers in Mexico. Doesn't get a lot of recognition, but he is. If you ask my dad, he's the best trainer of all time. But he is a great trainer. So Angel Fernandez is a big fan of Cholan Rivero, my dad. So that helped me become part of the training camp. So they're asking for my dad to be there too, but I want my dad to stay with Bam, with Pita, and
With the
Chepe.
team, because you have a lot of fighters.
Exactly, I have a lot of fighters, and I have fighters fighting in that around the in the time that I'll be in training camp.
Right.
So I also told him, okay, I'll be able to travel. My dad, Pita, Chepe, Charles, they'll stay behind. They'll get the guys ready, but with one condition, that I could travel for 3 days for their fight. So for Bam's fight, I'm traveling from England to San Antonio Thursday, get there Friday, stay for the fight, and Sunday morning,
Yeah.
I fly back to London. So that was a condition, and if in that same time I get Josh to fight Gallo Estrada sometime, around the same time, then I'll be able to travel to Josh's fight. So that was the deal. I said, with that condition, that if I get one of my champions to fight, I'm going to be able to travel. And they said yes, they okayed it. So I'm glad they were okay with it too. And now I'm supposed to be heading out there pretty soon to start training camp with them.
All right, your first heavyweight. He's a heavyweight superstar in London. He's
You know
like a
what?
David Beckham over there.
You know what? Yes. The time that I've been there, the 2 times that I've been there, man, people love this man. It's unbelievable, bro. Because honestly, even here in the United States, you have superstars like Mayweather. But Mayweather, a lot of people love him, but a lot of people don't want to see him either. They don't like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mayweather has to walk around with bodyguards. Anthony Joshua, he gets to the gym by himself. Nobody.
You mean like at the People's Champ?
People love him over there, man. He's he gets to the gym, people waiting for him out at the door, and he's there to shake everybody's hand, hug everybody, take pictures with everybody. They just love him. He's, like you said, just like David Beckham, one of those persons that everybody loves.
All right, and obviously it looks like Eddie Hearn said that the rematch could take place July 23rd in the Middle East. Well, that's the front runner according to what Eddie Hearn says.
Yeah, that's what I was told too. So we also have to, I know that it's also going to have to be planned out where, how many days or weeks we have to travel from London to where the fight's going to be, because it's also I believe it's like a 4-hour flight, so it's going to be a few hours time change and all that. So that's all something that we have to plan out. But as of right now, I'm scheduled to leave to London and do, have a good I think 8 or 9 week training camp. So I'm excited. I'm excited. It's a big challenge for me, and that's the thing that I think motivates me the most. That after coming off from a loss, where people don't expect him to win. Those are the challenges I love. Like when Maidana beat Broner, or Abner Mares beat Cuellar, or Stevie Luevano, who traveled to London to fight Nicky Cook and knock him out in the 11th round, where nobody expected that to happen. Those are the challenges that I like. And right now, Anthony Joshua is that challenge where he lost. I'm not gonna say he took a beating, because he didn't take a beating. He lost that decision, but he lost, clearly lost. And now bring him back and to pull off the win, it'll be huge for me, man. It'll be huge for me as a trainer. Plus, having a heavyweight champion of the world, can't get any better than that.
Robert, you've done a lot of comeback stories for fighters, like you said, for Mares, for Maidana, for Steven Luevano. Obviously, this is a different stratosphere. How have you prepared for this?
You know what?
Opportunity?
Before I'm gonna go back to another one. Brian Viloria.
Hawaiian Punch.
After Brian Viloria was a champion, and then he lost his title, and nobody really believed him. That's when Brian Viloria came to me. His manager Gary brought him to me. Man, you were still not even around boxing, but
No, it wasn't.
bro, Top Rank was still giving him fights, but
They write him off.
they probably they already had him off there. They were just giving him fights because of the relationship that Gary Gittleson had with Top Rank. But we fought one time at the Alameda Swap Meet, bro. The Alameda Swap Meet, it was pouring rain, and a former world WBC champion, former Olympian, it was raining so bad.
I heard you guys had to carry him to
We
the ring.
carried him from the locker room, which was just a tent. We carried him because the water was just so wet in the floor that we had to carry him into the ring so his shoes wouldn't get wet. And then even during the fight, there was little tents that was covering the ring. During the fight, it was just raining so hard. So those experiences, he was fighting on that, those events outside in the parking lot in Alameda Swap Meet.
Yeah.
And then we get that title opportunity to fight Archie Solis, Archie Solis had 11, if I'm not mistaken, like 10 or 11 title defenses, and nobody gave us a chance. Nobody gave Brian Viloria a chance, and he goes and knocks him out in the 11th round. Shit, that was a big win for me too. That was one that I brought, from where nobody believed him anymore, and to become world champion again. So those are the stories, and this is going to be another one. Anthony's not in that position where nobody cares for him, or he's fighting on small cards.
Yeah.
He's huge in London. He's huge in England. But he did lose his last fight, and he did lose when nobody thought he was going to lose. And so now, I'm going to do whatever it takes to bring him back and to win that title again.
All right. And what has Joshua told you, like on the little bit that you can share with us?
You know what? The 2 times that I've been there, he's very disciplined, and he listens. He's a learner. He listens, and he reminds me a lot. You know what? But not, they're totally opposite person. But the kind of confidence he had with me, Chavez Jr. And I told Pita, he reminds me of Chavez Jr. Because when we're talking about strategies or plan or something, he's like, you know what, you're right, Robert. What do you think about this? So he's asking questions because he wants to. Chavez is the same way. Even though a lot of people think different about Chavez, Chavez is a great person to be around. And the time that I had him with me, he always asked a lot of questions and wanted to know more and more. Then obviously he got into a lot of problems and personal problems. That's a different story. But I told Pita, he reminds me about Chavez, because Chavez used to ask a lot of questions. They want to know, they want to learn, they want to get better. And Anthony Joshua, every day, he listens. He's never the 4 weeks that I've spent with him, never tried to, no, I don't like that, let's do something else. Whatever I tell him to do, he's going to do. Whatever, as long as I tell him he's going to work out, he works out. So he's a listener, and he wants to get better. So I think that's a big plus. I think that's going to help because he's going to do it my system. He's going to do it my way, and not whatever way he's used to. But he trains hard. He trains for like 3 hours a day. He starts off, a lot of stretching and everything, but it's like a 3-hour workout. But good workout, it's not like I'm pushing him for 3 hours nonstop. It's good workouts. If he does mitts, sparring, whatever, heavy bag, shadow boxing, whatever it is, he listens.
He sounds like he's a sponge taking in all that knowledge. Based on what you've seen, Robert, how much better can Anthony Joshua be under your
You know what?
guidance?
Before I was even hired, you could have asked me, who do you think is the most talented heavyweight? And I would always say Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I remember you
Since
saying
the
that.
first time I met him, I knew who he was because he won a gold medal. But Gradovic fought in London, and Anthony Joshua fought on that same card. I think Anthony Joshua was like 8 or 9-0. So he was just a beginner. You know, obviously he was already a superstar coming off with a gold medal, but I didn't know who he was. But when I seen him come to the weigh-ins, you know, the way he looked, right away I could say, I don't know who that is, but that fighter right there, I know, he's special. Because just the way he walked, the way he looked, the way he smiled, smiled at everybody, shook everybody's hand. I said, that kid's special. Whoever he is, that kid's special. Then I was there, seen him fight, took care of business, and I've always been a believer in him because he's got so much talent. Still now, a year ago, 2 years ago, if you ask me who's the most talented heavyweight, I would still, I've always said Anthony Joshua, talent-wise. Fury is a different beast, different monster. Usyk is very technical, difficult because he's smaller and fast. Wilder, tremendous power. Everybody has their own
Unique
quality
power,
there,
yeah.
exactly. But overall talent, if you're talking about talent, I pick Anthony Joshua. And another thing is that Anthony Joshua also has insane power.
You felt it?
Oh my God, he's got great power, more than anybody else, I think. Wilder, I never felt his power, but from what I've seen, he knocking fools out. Wilder is one of those guys too that has that one punch power. But Anthony Joshua also has it. He's very, very strong.
Talk about that power. How unique is it in your position, Robert, that you can be getting them back with those belts in the winning circle and all that?
You know what? Like I said, I've had champions in every weight division, almost in every weight division. But having the heavyweight champion of the world is special. That's what I could have 100 world champions, but if I don't have a heavyweight, then it kind of something's missing.
It's bittersweet, yeah.
Or like when Manny Robles, he had
Andy Ruiz.
Reis as a champion. Man, I felt so happy because it doesn't matter if whoever, any champion has had multiple world champions, but he has the heavyweight champion of the world.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. Heavyweight boxing,
It's a king. Overall.
exactly. That's the main guy, the main champion you want to
Yeah.
have. So, it'll be special. It'll be something huge. If I get him if I prepare him to become champion of the world, it's gonna be special, bro.
And
It is.
Robert, a few more questions because I know you have to go. But did he tell you why he picked you?
One thing the whole team around him, talks about is my 14 world champions and from being underdogs to becoming world champions.
Yeah.
Very few that I have, like Nonito Donaire or Mikey, who were special growing up and top rank and everybody knew when they get that opportunity they're gonna become champions.
Yeah, they're supposed to beat the guy.
Yes, but mostly all of them, including Brandon Rios. When Brandon Rios fought Anthony Peterson,
Yeah, I remember
nobody
watching
gave
that.
Brandon a chance.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that Peterson was going to be the superstar.
Yeah.
But Brandon beat the heck out of him, and then Brandon becomes world champion against Acosta. Nobody really expected Brandon to become champion, and he did. And the stories like Maidana and, Luevano and Viloria, Abner Maris, that's what...
Resurrected a lot of careers.
what they seen and they liked. And like I told you, Angel Fernandez being the trainer that they already have there, gets along with me really good. We speak the same Spanish because he's from Spain, so we speak Spanish and get along well. We talk a lot. I think that also had a lot to do with it, that we were able to get along and work in the same game plan. Where I didn't come telling him what I need, what's best for Anthony Joshua to do, and Angel wants to do something different. None of that. He's
You're
he's
both on the same page.
Exactly, we're both on, so that helped a lot. But like I said, the 14 champions is what they mention a lot. The underdogs to become world champions. And they also know that I've also lost some fights, so I can't. They know that I'm not. I'm human. You don't. You can't win them all. But they're okay with what I've already done.
They believe in your skills.
They believe exactly.
And in your caliber.
Yeah.
And in your teaching methods.
Exactly. They've also done a lot of questions. They've sat me down with not with Anthony, but with everybody else, and asked me a lot of questions to do with boxing and what I think, game plan. Asked me about other fighters, and I answer them from my heart. I'm not bullshitting them, and I think that's one thing they like too, because there's a lot of trainers that know how to bullshit themselves into making them believe that they're the best. There's a lot of
You've seen it, right?
all over. There's a lot. But I guess all the time that I've spent over there, and the questions that they've asked, the honesty that I tell them, I think that has to do with why they chose me.
And without giving away too much, Oleksandr Usyk, how do you crack that code without giving
what?
away?
Could be also that they also like the fact that Usyk used to train in my gym in Oxnard. So they know I seen him train. They know I know him. I never trained him, but I was there. He's training in my gym. You know what I mean? So maybe that's also another thing that probably helped. That I know Usyk. And look, and when you meet Usyk, he's scary. His looks like he looks like a serial killer.
Yeah.
But once you meet him, Usyk is a
Sweetheart.
great person. He's a sweetheart. He's a kid, man. You're meeting a kid. He plays around. He jokes around. He's a great person. Igis Klimas?
Mean Machine.
No, the manager.
Oh, he is.
Klimas.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Klimas, I have a great relationship with him. I was just with him, just last weekend with his fighters, that fight, the Vargas brothers,
kids.
I was there with them, and nothing but respect for Klimas. So this is business. I consider them friends, but no, I'm hired to be against them now, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to beat them.
And how excited are you, Robert, to showcase your skills as a trainer?
You know what? I think this is where I've already shown. I've already done it. I've never done it. To a point where I have a fighter that's already good enough to beat anybody with whichever trainer it is. I think the way I've showed it is where the fighters needed me. I made them win the title. I helped them win the title. Obviously, they're the ones fighting, but I helped them with the game plans, with my camps, with the way I talk to them, the way I teach them. I've never had that one fighter that is already a world champion, no matter who's training him. There's a lot of those, that become world champions, that become superstars. That doesn't mean the trainer's the one that made them. They made themselves, and they made the trainer maybe more popular than anything else. But I think with the champions that I've made, I think I've proven that I make them champions.
That you're at this caliber, you're at this level.
Exactly.
All
So
right.
I think I'm gonna do the same thing with Anthony. I think he's got whatever it takes. I think he's got especially the power. He's got the reach. He's got the height, strength, size. Everything's in his favor. You know what I mean? Now he just needs to follow the game plan, which every time I talk to him, he's listening to everything, follows the game plan, and I think it's a great opportunity for me to have my first heavyweight champion of the world.
And Robert, what can you promise fans that they'll see when Anthony Joshua rematches Oleksandr
You know what?
Usyk?
I'm gonna put my full effort into training camp and obviously the day of the fight. to win that the heavyweight titles back. The fighter listens. The fighter follows instructions. If the fighter doesn't freeze or sometimes the fighter might have problems on his own. If something like that, then there's nothing you could do with not even a heavyweight with Bam, with Mikey. It doesn't matter. If he goes in the ring with problems already, then there's nothing anybody could do. But if he's focused 100% and training camp goes well and he listens to me, he will beat Usyk.
All right, Robert, my last question. How does it feel? A young man from Oxnard, Mexican American, to come this far.
You know what? It's crazy because I'm 47, so my dad has told me, you got to plan your future by 50, 52. You should already be retired. I'm like, of course not. I want to go 20 more years if I can. I don't want to retire that young. I love I'm training kids pro right now. It's going to take them at least 5 or 6 years to make it to a level where they could be fighting for a title. So no, this is going for a long time. I remember there was an occasion where my dad made me and Fernando champions the same year. In 1998, I was champion, and then Fernando became champion towards the end of the year, and it was a big deal in Oxnard. Radio stations talking about us becoming world champions, and there was a person that called. They were talking about it. The local radio station was talking about my dad coming from Mexico. Being an illegal in California, picking strawberries, and now having 2 world champions. And somebody called in and said, "Oh, that's all bullshit. He's just, he's a field worker. He just got lucky. That's what, going back to you saying coming from Oxnard. Well, that's where I'm coming from. My dad picking strawberries every day for 10 hours a day, getting to the gym still with his working clothes. He would change his boots full of strawberries and still train me, Fernando, and hundreds of kids from the Colonia area. So that's where I come from. We grew up with a better life. Obviously, we didn't have to work the fields. My dad always supported me to stay in boxing, school and boxing. Always pushed me to the limits in boxing. Took me to a lot of tournaments. From my pro debut to my last fight, my dad always supported me, always worked hard so I don't have to have a job. So that's where we come from, from being my dad illegally in the United States, being picked up by immigration, who knows how many times, but he would be back and he made it far, and now I just took over what my dad started,
The legacy.
I just took over. He's the one that started. He's the one that deserves all the credit. If it wasn't for him, for the love of the sport that he had, for the ambition that he had to have a world champion, then Fernando, Mikey, man, that's the story, and I'm just picking up what he left, So I didn't start it. He started it.
All right, Robert. Anything you want to get off your chest before I let you go? I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I can't wait, bro. If everything goes well, no injuries, no nothing, I guarantee this. Anthony Joshua is gonna go out there and bring his titles back to his country.
Constantino Garcia here for Little Giant Boxing. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow me on social media at Constantino Garcia.